This is Toronto, home to approximately 5 million people including the GTA, and it is also the biggest central hub in Canada. But that was 20 years ago. This is Canada now, with over 1.5 million homeless elderly people in need of care. With not enough working adults to support them, Canada has been deserted. Many wonder what could have been avoided if Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was more prepared. Now our expert, Callum Doran, will give us an examination of to what happened to Canada's population in 2016.
The country's fertility rate in 2016 was a measly 1.6, which is far off meeting the required replacement rate of 2 babies per woman. Canada's natural increase rate was low in 2016, and the majority of their working population had immigrated from other countries. Most of the immigrants in the workforce don't move here with their families, and in 2011, 20% of Canada's population had immigrated from other countries. With all these factors weighing in on Canada, no wonder why the population is so aged now.
But to understand these issues, we have to go to the beginning.
In 1939, a great war started between two military powers, the Axis and the Allies. The Axis consisted of Germany, Italy, and Japan, while the Allies were composed of powers like Great Britain, France, the USSR or Soviet Union and Russia, the USA, and Canada.
How was the conflict resolved?
The war officially ended when the US dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japanese cities Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nazi Germany had surrendered 3 or 4 months earlier.
So what did the veterans do when they came back from a tiring 6-year war?
After the war came to an end in 1945, the veterans, like my father, returned to their families, and most of them decided to have children because of the people who died during the war. Children at the time were called baby boomers because of the rise of population after the war. I am a baby boomer.
But the war wasn't the only reason why there were so many children back then. In 1945, the healthcare system was nowhere as near as it is today, so when people had children, they had a lot of them, because not a lot of them made it to adulthood. Also, in 1945, they didn't have many types of contraception and birth control as we do now, which means not a lot of those children were planned.
So Steve, how has life changed for you since 2016?
The quality of my care has decreased due to rapid growth of Canada's elderly population.
So what could Trudeau have done to make sure all the elderly had access to a good post-retirement life?
Trudeau was not prepared. He did not take into consideration our aging population when investing our taxes. He refused to spend our hard-earned taxes on elderly homes.
Was Trudeau prepared for our high dependency load?
Evidently no. He spent more taxes on things that would not benefit us, meaning the elderly and the children. He could have spent that money on things like old age homes and elderly health care and caregivers.
Was there any way the average Canadian could have helped?
The only thing that could have done was pay more taxes. Those extra taxes were supposed to go to more things for elderly, such as more accessible communities and community centers through things like ramps and elevators. I never saw many of those though, so I guess the money was not used for its intended purpose.
Obviously, Trudeau didn't do all he could do to help Canada's aging population. Once again, we will talk to our demographics expert, Callum Doran, and our baby boomer, Steve Phillips.
The issue of aging population did not concern most Canadians, as they thought it wouldn't affect them, only the elderly. That was a huge mistake. Not only did it affect them, it ruined the country as a whole. They had to pay more taxes for things like old age homes, the few that Trudeau built. Many Canadians were taken aback by the sheer amount of tax dollars they were paying. They weren't prepared.
What did you notice about the country when it was unaware about the problems it faced?
Many of the people working at the time were not actually from Canada. We had to rely on so much young, working adults to immigrate into the country and help our declining workforce because of the decreasing fertility rate. I started advertisements all around for small towns saying, "Come join us. We need young workers, people like you." Those towns were suffering because they were quiet and isolated. Almost all of their population were seniors. Soon it would become a ghost town.
How would these issues affect someone trying to help aging family members or someone trying to find a job?
People with aging family members would not have as much time to help them because they would be working more because of the declining workforce. They would be needed to help sustain the economy. Also, people looking for jobs in children's health care and education would not find many jobs available. However, someone looking for a job in health care for the elderly would be able to find a job much more easily.
To summarize, due to Trudeau's ignorance and lack of knowledge, a large percentage of the aging workforce and baby boomers left without proper care, treatment, and homes. Our fertility rate has rapidly declined due to the increase on income taxes and property taxes, which made raising a child nearly impossible with a large income. With a negative migration rate, a massive elderly population, and a small workforce to support them, Canada was deserted. A once great nation reduced to nothing.